Hello, Gabby here. So the lighting and quality isn't going to be the best. I'm not going to edit this video. I just wanted to upload a short video. While I've kind of been dipping in and out of very dissociation, whatever it is. Basically where I feel like my body has been pulled out through my, and I'm just kind of looking down at myself, like an out of body experience, but not an actual out of body experience. It's entirely anxiety based, and I thought it would be interesting to talk about it. At the moment, I am on a hen night at my for my aunt's wedding. Her wedding is in July, and so we're having the hen night now just to get it out of the way. Well, you're meant to have the hen night before. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Yeah, so I'm here with my mother, a bunch of my aunt's friends, and my other two aunts. And now, look, in fairness, my aunts were very proud of me for even coming out because they know that I'm not like a people person and that I don't know any of the people here really. Oh, I'm a little sleepy. I'm sorry. But I just wanted to let you know that if you're the kind of person who ever feels like you're not quite there, things feel fuzzy, it feels like a dream, you feel like you can't concentrate on what's happening, you're like not in touch with your emotions even because you're like, or you're like stuck in your own head. That's what happens to me usually, is that like I get stuck in my own head and I can't ground myself. And then talking to people and laughing and drinking and smiling, sorry, the angle keeps going weird, is just very difficult. It's very hard to actually deal with. Now, it happened at the very beginning when I first met up with girls at the little place where we got brunch, and I just immediately I was like, nope, room full of strangers for the most part. I don't feel like I belong here. These are all people in their 20s, 30s, 40s who, are either are married or they're like, they're adults doing things. And I'm like, yeah, but you're an adult who does things. Just because you're the niece doesn't make you any less of an adult. Just because you're the youngest doesn't make you any less important. Um, but I still didn't feel quite right. I felt like I think part of it is that I walk into a room and I'm immediately like, oh God, I'm alternative. They're gonna look at me and I'm gonna stick out like a sore thumb, but like in a bad way, not in a, oh, she has an interesting fashion sense, or oh, that's not my sort of thing, and then they move on. In my mind, it's like, oh God, they're going to see me and think that I am weird, but also if I wear clothes to fit in, which should theoretically help, I don't feel right because I'm like, oh no, I don't feel comfortable. This isn't true to me. So part of it is trying to find a balance between being genuinely me and being appropriately dressed. I don't go around fucking walking outside naked, but like I do have cool high heel deep boots that I enjoy wearing. I'm just looking at them now; they're on the floor. Um, but yeah, so after a while, I managed to calm down. I hadn't eaten, and they kept handing me prosecco, and I kept sipping away at it for like hours and hours and hours, and not actually drinking it because I don't like prosecco. I don't think it tastes nice, but also I didn't want to drink, and I didn't have much food in my tummy. So after kind of like scavenging through a bunch of like Ferrero Rochers and some camembert and crackers, because there wasn't too much of the food left because I kind of waited too late to get some, and that was my fault. Excuse me. I started chatting and I was outside in the balcony. Now I brought my DSLR with me because I was like, look, at least I'll have a good photo opportunity here and I'll be able to even record videos, which is ironic because now I'm filming on my phone. My camera's right there in the corner. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it's there. I'm gonna record videos tomorrow. Like proper ones. I just don't have a tripod, so I'll have to figure that out, but I'll be at Keane's. It's midnight. I'm a sleepy bean. I think it's nearly 1 p.m. Yeah. So I started talking to somebody and she was like, oh, what do you do? Are you a photographer? And I was like, no, no, no. I dropped out of college, just working away. Don't really know what I want to do. Kind of just stuck in the sort of, I like too many things and don't know what I want with my life. I can't pick one direction because I don't want to pick one direction because I'll feel like I missed out on things. And so we just got into this really deep conversation about like not knowing where we want to go, not knowing where to progress. And like she's somebody in her mid 30s with a kid, and she still has no idea what she wants to do or where she wants to go with her life. And that really made me feel good. And it was also, very brave of somebody, especially because it's hard enough for me at 21 to say, oh, I don't know what I want to do. But imagine when you're already established, you own property, you have a family, all that jazz, that like it must be really hard to say, hey, I don't actually know what my true calling is. And I thought that was very brave of her because it's a very hard thing to say. And I know my friends used to say I had a talent for getting people to talk about the real stuff. But then once I started getting around to small talk again, that's when, excuse me, that's when I started disassociating, and just being like pulled out of my body. Facebook, please stop. And so I honestly didn't go out drinking with them for the night in the pub. I drank in the hotel with them and stuff. When they went out like to the nightclub and shit, like that's not my vibe. I'm not into that. And look, my aunt knows. My aunt knows I'm not that kind of person. She's not insulted. It's not, impolite. Because I know for a lot of people it would be, but like my family understand me. I understand my family, and especially a lot of my aunts have gone through a lot of similar stuff with their anxiety. Like maybe not the exact same, but they've had their own struggles and they do understand, they do empathize. And honestly, they were just really, really happy to have me here at all. Um, or they lied and said they were, but yeah. But either way, it was a big thing for me to even be here at all. I could have bailed at the last minute, which would have been not cool, especially because it was €150. But I mean, I didn't, and I'm here, and I got my money's worth, and I'm in a nice hotel, and things are good, and I'm doing my best. And stop it. And I just wanted to let you know that if that does happen, it's okay to not follow. Stop fucking messaging me. It's okay to not follow the exact plan that you had set out for yourself for the day. If if you feel that fear, or if you feel that disconnect, or you just feel odd and you don't feel comfortable doing something, that is okay. Obviously, sometimes you have to do it and it's something you have to get done. And but like things like this, social events, a lot of the pressure is social. A lot of the pressure comes from whether it's from peers, or from pairs, social. So pair pressure. Yes, I don't like pears. Actually, I'm kind of craving a pear. Ooh, I'm craving fruit now. Gabby, off topic. Um, it's okay for you to not feel comfortable when it comes to social events, because a lot of it is due to peer pressure, due to social constructs, just expectations of, oh, this is what I would do in that situation, therefore you should do it. But also general sort of, oh God, is this what's expected of me? Or, oh, I must wear a dress because that's what girls wear dresses to, this sort of thing. If you get what I mean, I'm just kind of giving some general examples. And ultimately, if you're somebody who doesn't drink, or who doesn't do the small talk, now I drink sometimes, I just didn't feel like drinking, and that was okay. And once I said that, people were like, oh, okay, no bother, fair enough. They were like, oh, you had no drink on you, so I was just going to offer to make you one. But I mean, like, if you don't want to drink, it's all good, and those are the kind of people you need in your life, people who are like, look, if you tell them straight out how you feel, even if they're strangers, a lot of these people I didn't know, however, they were my aunt's favourite people, and so they're obviously good people. Everyone here was here in good spirit. Nobody was bitchy or anything like that. Like we're not about that. And so it was nice to get real and just talk about real problems. And like a few people joined in on our conversation, and it ended up being like 3 or 4 people talking about serious life shit, which is good. And it's good that, I don't know if it's just me. I'm sure it's not just me, but my friends say that me in particular, I have a way of getting people to just open up about like their deepest, darkest secrets, and I don't know why. I feel like maybe it's just because people don't talk about it, and I do, because I just it's okay. Everyone goes through shit. Okay, it's not a dick measuring contest. Okay, of course, a starving child, um, with no access to water. Yeah, of course that I do agree that that is a lot more severe than, say, a mild inconvenience, like somebody, oh, that's my bra, shit. Ah, it's okay, it's good cleavage, you can enjoy it. Um, it's a lot worse than, say, somebody feeling nervous about a test because they have to take that test because they're in school and that's the thing. However, I don't think, like, when you're in the same group of friends and you start comparing each other's problems and saying, "Oh, their problem's worse than my problem isn't doesn't matter." You're adding another layer of anxiety that you don't need. You're adding another layer of judgment and of fear that you don't need to have on yourself. You're adding this layer of, "Oh, either my problem isn't big enough, I should just shut up about it," and then you're repressing it, or you have the mindset of, "No, nobody else has ever experienced worse pain than me. My life is endless suffering." You're not Jesus. You're not fucking Jesus, or else, the biblical version of him. Um, you know, it's okay for you to be in a lot of pain. And I understand that sometimes you feel like nobody gets it. And a lot of the time it's because people don't know how to talk about it, but trust that people do care. People want you to get better. Sometimes they just may misconstrue what you're feeling as something to what they felt, or they just might not be able to relate, and might not as a result have the same amount of understanding and education on what you're going through as you have, or your friends or your family or your support system have. But yeah, so I went on a bit of a tangent, but basically it's okay to dissociate. It is a defensive mechanism, and that's just your body's way of saying, "Oh, I'm in an uncomfortable situation, I'm gonna pull you out of there for you so you can protect yourself." And so that's why a lot of the time it doesn't make sense, but it's because in your brain those situations seem dangerous. And you just have to learn, and you just have to breathe, like take deep breaths. I like to put my hand on my belly as I breathe in and out, and as my belly expands and contracts. And another one my aunt showed me earlier was, okay, if you are making if you're making smoke on a cold day, so you're going on your hand, right? Do that, but with your mouth closed. So what you're doing is that is contracting the diaphragm. So that's ensuring you are breathing deeply, and that will help. And also remembering that, look, you might feel alone in a room with people. I know, I've been there. You might feel like you're out of this planet. You don't know what's going on. It's very hard to concentrate, and that is okay. It's not ideal. And look, sometimes it doesn't go away for people, but a lot of the time it does. A lot of the time it's temporary. For me, it's generally 2 or 3 hours at a time in the last few months. But last year, it would go on for 2 or 3 week stretches, like prolonged periods of time, and it was really, oh, it really affects your day to day. Um, but you can do that. You can get through this. You are strong. You are brave. We are all in this together. Zac Efron, High School Musical, 2008. I think it was in 2006. Shite. Oh fuck, how do I turn this off?